Right, let's jump straight into your 405 diary. Certainly a very busy day ahead this Friday, without a doubt. We'll begin with court matters in the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court as a start. That's where former Correctional Services head Lindam T, alongside his co-accused Patrick Gillingham, Andre Fantonda, as well as Angela Grizzi, were set to make an appearance. This in connection with a 1.8 billion rand corruption tender involving scandal hit company Bosasa. We're told, of course, that this dates back to about 2004 and 2007. Of course, because Angela Grizzi has now been hospitalized, we're not expecting him to make an appearance, but this is certainly an important case nonetheless. This is also the second appearance, because during the first time when they had to appear in court, there was a need for a bit more evidence in this matter. Newzroom Afrika keeping a close eye on the story on our desk. Staying with court matters, this time in the Boysen Magistrates Court. That's where we're expecting representatives from two companies that are responsible for fixing the Beitbridge border fence. You remember the scandal around this fence when it needed to be refurbished in the lead up to the COVID-19 lockdown, when the country needed to close its borders. We had heard first reports that perhaps there might have been overspending, and then this was confirmed by Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille. But what also unfolding in the fray is that the minister herself was implicated in some of the dodgy dealing that saw to, I guess, some of the questionable transactions that took place in the refurbishment of this particular fence. What's important today is that we're expecting details, either further implicating the minister or clarifying her lack of involvement in this particular matter. Zianda Ngobo, who also is our senior political reporter, will be watching that story closely for us unfolding at the Boysen's Magistrates Court. We'll also take you to KZN, where the Inkatha Freedom Party, the IFP, is set to brief the media on what they say will be a briefing that will lift the lid on corruption. Not much else has been said about what to expect, but we do know that there are several issues of concern in KZN, many also linked to the procurement of COVID-19 PPE. You remember that moment when PPE just disappeared in KZN and then, I guess mysteriously reappeared, and I don't remember any closure to that particular matter. Not to preempt what the IFP will say, but that's certainly something to keep at the back of your mind as we count down to that briefing. Karinda Jagmohan will, I guess, hopefully help us understand and answer the many questions we have. The IFP promising to lift the lid on corruption later on today. And then an interesting situation that's likely to unfold in Midrand today. That's where we're expecting a group of matriculants alongside Basic Education Minister Anzimo Checha to sign what's been called an honesty pledge that they'll commit to their studies despite the difficulties that we've faced this year. Perhaps I've missed it, but this is the first time I'm hearing of matriculants signing this honesty pledge. However, what I think is still an important yet unanswered question is how will the Basic Education Department deal with matriculants that contract COVID-19 moments before they were scheduled to write their exams? We know that according to the protocol that's currently in place, after contracting COVID-19, you need to be essentially not in any public area for about 10 days or so. And I wonder whether that is enough to ensure that there isn't too much of a lag for people whose schedule will be inevitably disrupted if they contract COVID-19. I imagine reporters, including Balite Tani, who will be there, will ask these important questions. But here we are, an honesty pledge we're hearing as we count down to an important moment, really, in the schooling of many people in South Africa, those final matric exams. And then, of course, to use the cliche, all eyes on the Senegal town, or the Free State town of Senegal, I beg your pardon, today, as we expect, if you like, two very polarized communities to descend on the Senegal Magistrates Court. That's where two suspects are set to make their second appearance. They are arrested in connection with the murder of Brendan Horner. That certainly sparked a chain of reaction that also led us to wide-reaching conversations about the state of racial tensions in South Africa and many other related issues.